be able to do it. But everybody else should be able to bust out journal, bust out paper, and plan out your non-negotiables for this week. Remember, we're gonna pick 4 for body, 4 for being, 4 for balance, and 4 for business. Write down 4 things on a hit list or hot list that you're gonna make non-negotiables this week.
Should these be changing every week?
So it depends. It depends. These should lead to accomplishment of your impossible game, of your year from now. Who do you want to be a year from now? And what are things that I need to do right now to get to that person a year from now? So these can repeat. These can be brand new things. But what you'll find is that you'll get in a groove. You'll have a set stable of things on your hit list that you got to do every week. And then you'll have ones that pop up in there. Remember, these should be things that are important, but not urgent. Important to move your life forward, but not urgent because everything's burning down. So right now, let's take 5 minutes, maybe 10 minutes to write down 4 things for body, 4 things for being, 4 things for balance that you are going to do this week. No doubt about it. Like you
Now,
will do.
are you accomplishing all 4 for all 4 sections in the week, or you're doing 4 a day, or are you only doing 4 within a week?
Good question. Good question. So remember, we're building capacity, and then we're limiting the amount of time that you're allowed to spend on these things. So when you pick these 4 things in each category, that you'll end up doing 3 things each day. You're only allowed to work on 3 of those things each day, right? So work will expand itself into the time that you allow, right? No matter what. The goal is kind of just like how you do chasing alignment and you get your whole core done first thing in the morning. The goal should be for these things to fit in your day, kind of like that. Like your daily routine includes dating your wife. Your daily routine includes dating your children. Your daily routine includes extra gym time. You know what I'm saying? It should be things that you can program into your life that are just what you do, not things that you have to go out of your way to do, if that makes sense. So expanding that capacity and just making it part of what we do and who we are.
Sorry.
Ooh, nice. If you could play some of that music when we start
Yeah,
writing.
Tom Petty's not
We're
bad.
good. We're good. Tom Petty's the one to play.
No doubt.
Any other questions on it? Good quick question, Nathaniel. 4 things: body, being, balance. Write those down. And then the second portion of that is you're going to schedule 3 of those things per day. So they're non-negotiables that you're going to accomplish that week. And then you're going to put Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and you're going to schedule those out over the week.
You're still going to list 4 for each category. You're going to pick 3 and you're going to do them every day, scheduled at specific times throughout the week.
So think of it like I can do 1 thing from body, 1 thing from being, 1 thing from balance on each day. Or one day I could do all body. The next day I could do all being. The next day I could do however you want to mix it up. But you're going to have this list of 12 things and you have to program it out over the week. No more than 3 things each one of those days.
So there's an emphasis on the program part. Like I can't just squeeze my 100 burpees in whenever. I'm going to do it at 12:20 when I get out of my meeting at 12 or whatever.
Or you're going to do it on Tuesday.
Okay, so any time during the day.
Right.
No real schedule. Gotcha.
Right.
And we can
It's that day.
Within that day. Okay, cool. So it's not as rigored as I thought. I don't know if there's a purpose in like trying to schedule it down to the minute or whatever, but
Not
it doesn't
yet.
sound like it at all. Yeah. Okay.
And if we need to focus like more on balance, we could sprinkle a couple more of those than fitness in that week, right? We can kind of
Absolutely.
pull from one category.
Yep, you'll see that there's 15 spots, right? 15 spots if you do 3 a day. And then we only have 12 items scheduled. So you have 3 kind of bonus spots that you can use up for something that you want more attention towards.
Okay.
Yeah, let's take 7 minutes. Let's go to 7. 7, writing that out.
And I
Right.
can do it right. I can do it right now, Coach Phil.
Okay.
Coach.
Hey, are we putting them down? Are we scheduling them already once we're done, or wait a little bit?
Um, if you know which days you want to get them done,
Or
then
just-
schedule now.
Go ahead,
But
schedule.
if you need some time, then you can schedule after. But it is 7, just so that we can hold each other accountable. Let's go around and share just a couple of our non-negotiables, a couple of our non-negotiables. I'll start off. I pledged when I started living the Warriors way that I would go on 52 date nights this year. So one of my non-negotiables is to make sure I date my wife this week. So that will happen. It's been happening, so that's good. And I will do 26 kid dates. So I got 2 babies and a couple fosters. Sometimes I combine those into like a family date, but usually I'll be able to date one of my kids one-on-one. Not each week, but at least every other week. And this is the week that I've scheduled to date one of them. Yeah, that's my balance portion, which really helps me with all the other stuff. Kind of comes naturally to me anyway after owning a gym for a while and just stacking and all this stuff just makes the other stuff easy. But I do have to put work into the dating and spending time with them. Who else? What you got, Ray? You're on mute, buddy.
Oh, I hate that part. Okay, so mine is what I was already talking to you about, the food. Mine's gonna be the food and the training, being tight, really for the 21 days, but the non-negotiable starting out this week is really tightening up. Like my food's gotta be on point and my training's gotta be on point so that I can be ready for
What does that mean? What did we talk about?
just changing my diet around.
What? How are we gonna prove that you changed your diet?
Well, we're definitely keeping hopefully it'll all be in that list that I can eat solely from that list and then just tracking it within, what all of that is.
Tracking macros, eating.
Mhm.
Good. Good.
I like that. I like that. Having a list of allowables. I like that.
Yeah. Yeah. He sent me a list. It's like a list of the only things I can eat. It's like, okay, here we go.
Now, I mean, when you work through that list, I mean, are you pulling out the things that you like from the list, or you're just like, whatever it is on the list, that's all I'm going to eat? Because I mean, if
No,
you're just
it's what you like on the list, but it is a very limited list.
gonna, okay.
Hopefully you like everything.
You got Andy?
Me, so I'm going to date a core loved one, and I'm putting that kind of as like my family, mom, dad, or brother. Devoting an hour to an hour and a half of doing something they like,
Okay.
something they love.
Good. Got anything else?
I'm going body. I actually put down 5 because I want to work on my pull-ups. So 50 pull-ups or 55. And if I can do 10 straight for probably first set, but really concentrating them on the way down on the dissension on the negative. So I really just want, that's like one of the things that I want to work on for myself. So that's one that's on there.
How are you gonna prove that you did that?
I'm gonna prove it. I guess doing it is not enough. I guess that's something I can record. That'd be kind of cool to kind of record that progress. So yes, I'll record that.
And how are you gonna prove you dated?
Well, typically or like what I did last week, I kind of just like wrote it down on my calendar and scratched it off as I did it. But I guess I could take a picture of us doing it together. That way, okay, something to save the moment. Also, yeah,
Sure.
cool.
What you got, Kurt?
I think I have, did you say 4 things in all 4 areas? or 3 in every area? 4.
4 things in every area.
I
4
put
things
down,
in
well,
3 areas. Body being
3
in
areas.
balance.
I did a little more than that, I guess. I do have a weight. So I teach high school. I did get a weightlifting schedule from our lifting coach, football coach. I haven't started yet. My goal is to lift 2 days this week and go on my walks 4 days in the morning. While it's still dark. Not quite where you guys all are at with the workouts, but I'll get there.
Absolutely.
I use the YouVersion Bible app and been using that for a few years, but I need to I've set a goal to use it at night before I go to bed. So I'm being purposeful with my time right before bed. And my wife and I haven't done one together for a while. Find a plan that worked for us to do together.
Okay. Okay.
And
Let me
school
ask you
started.
this.
Go ahead.
Your so I love that you're getting into the U version at nighttime. What about the morning?
I do it. I've been doing the morning for years.
Okay. Okay.
That's already my routine.
Okay. Good.
Doing
You're
it
just
once
gonna
a day is not
add
enough for me.
something at night. Okay. Good. 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 And then you're adding stacking, right?
I'm not there yet. I just paid the day, so I'm not in the app yet.
Okay. You'll be in the app.
I've done the 4 trainings, whatever.
Okay, you'll be in the app no later than tomorrow, maybe today.
Right.
But
Yeah.
definitely start stacking. I'll send you a tutorial and off you'll go.
Right.
Once you get in it and start doing it, committing to doing it, it gets pretty easy. Good stuff. Good stuff.
Right.
What do you got, Sean?
Non-negotiables. So, body, my few are 100 burpees a day, 100 pull-ups a day, swim 1,000 meters, or 3 minutes in the ice. Being 20 minutes in meditation and then 20 minutes alignment. I guess it's just kind of like not necessarily focusing on meditating, but focusing on what comes after for 20 minutes. And then 30 minutes of stretching yoga. I found a yoga channel I like. It's kind of like both meditation and yoga. So I guess that one can kind of flop around.
Good, good.
I
How
want to do
you
the
document all these
heart
things?
same thing on the app, just on the app.
Just
Like,
clicking it?
No, so that would be like fitness or whatever, but I mean, I don't know how I would be tracking if I'm doing 100 burpees or whatever
Yeah,
Share it in all tides.
in all tides. Okay.
Yep.
So just make a post.
Andy and Craig have been posting their burpees in there, so it's been good.
Okay. Yeah. I can send it.
Doing the all tides rise?
They do it in all tides, right? Unless you are good with posting it just
To the
out in
Warriors? No, I'll
comments.
put out there, I'll expose my sweat.
I was gonna make a yard sign and put it on Blanding. I did 100. I did 100 burpees today. Call me.
Get Fox 30 to come out and film you.
Yeah. I'll do it in a Speedo, dude, in the sweatband.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah.
Good. So with all these things, make sure that you have a way to hold yourself accountable to doing it. We can do it, but then there's always that place where you can just press that button and it didn't really happen, right?
Yeah.
We
I mean,
hold each
that's
other
just
accountable. Pictures, evidence, pictures
yeah.
that it didn't happen.
Same thing you guys said with my kids. I want to try to do that. Start making lunches happen. I've never taken them for lunches, so I think that would be kind of. They'd think that would be mind-blowingly special.
Game changer.
Yeah. And then also on balance, tithing. It is an act of worship. It's also like the counteract of me earning is giving. So it's kind of cool to balance that out. But then obviously in balance, Bible and prayer is it's kind of like where I'm finding, reality anchor, like who I am again, in spite of who I've been. And then that hater in your head, it's like, hey, yeah, right, you're a fake and a fraud. You're like, well, kind of, but then I've also been doing this thing with the Lord that's real. So
When did
yeah,
you
so that's kind of
open your
balance.
Bible last?
When did I? Yeah, exactly. Well, yeah, I mean, and it's not even a thing anymore. It's like they don't even want your Frau because they're scared of you, you know? It's like a different, but yeah, I got more of that stuff.
Good. Yeah, program it out. We can share that in the app too. Like, hey, this is my full list. This is how I'm gonna accomplish it. You got Nathaniel?
Well, one thing I just had is a way to track it on Sunday or Monday. I'm going to post my week's hit list with all the targets on it. And then as each day goes by, go back and bold or change the color, do something to signify that, yes, I did this one, or no, I did not do that one. And then I'll have a record of it from week to week.
Good, good, good. And like I said, the next kind of iteration of this, the next level of this, that becomes a whole Trello board. More overwhelm of information that we can start to put into the app once we nail these basics down. So good, good, good. That's very good color code and everything. What do you got, Christian?
So I am going to start implementing the date night because that's fire. And I'm a bonehead, man. Like I'm thinking back, I'm like, dude, romance, you know, I haven't been doing that at all. Like I'm missing the mark, and it's way too early in this relationship, you know, like for me to be missing that kind of stuff, right? And it matters. So that's pretty clutch. But I'm doing Course in Miracles, so doing that every morning, obviously the Bible stack, but wake up, and very important to start the day with gratitude, right? Sit down in the quiet after I wake myself up and think, okay, you know, not only think about what I'm grateful for, but feel it, right? That's very, very clutch, right? Feel how grateful I am, like feel it in my heart, how grateful I am to, you know, to have this little baby boy in my life and all these things, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, huge.
Yeah.
But
we
yeah,
got a
man,
tool that can assist you with that too, right?
what's that?
You got a tool that can assist you with that as well.
With making babies?
Gratitude stack. So you can document it.
Yeah.
So what
Yeah.
I've committed to is Bible stack in the morning, prayer stack in the morning, grateful stack at night. Grateful stack and just review my entire day. I have to pick something of that day that I was grateful for. Nothing generic. It has to be something that day that I'm grateful for. And then I share it to the person who I was grateful for or to.
Nice.
And
Yeah, that's
exactly like,
even better.
and what you're saying though, that's why, like with Coach Noel saying that, because what you're saying is doing that stack, but you're talking about bringing your heart and your mind, connecting the two. And instead of, I know a lot of people are thinking, oh, if I do the stack, that's just my mind. And it's not. It's being able to have that process that's there, but you're connecting your heart and your mind. So even what you're talking about with the gratitude and you go through that process with the stack, super powerful.
And then, so sometimes while you're doing the stack, it might feel like, yeah, I'm just checking the boxes. But then when you say it, when you verbalize it to the person, that's what I've been doing is reading it to, like, as our bedtime routine. I'll read my gratitude stack to everyone. Little tears, little song, little joy. Leads to a little extra time with the wifey, being gratitude. Yeah, it's good. It's good. All right. Anybody got any questions on that hit list or how to accomplish it and schedule it throughout that week? Okay, good. Good. So we wanted to talk a little bit about balance. I know last week we kind of walked the block a little bit, which could be used for balance, just depending on how we use our stacks, use that rage stack. But there have been things in the Christian church that have been taught that, if utilized the wrong way, could be fairly damaging to a marriage, to a relationship, to a single person in the relationship, right? It could swing the balance of power from queen power and king power to only one of those people getting what they want all the time. So one of the first things that happens to young people as they start to get married, or they discuss getting married, or they come into that engagement relationship, is we say this thing, and I know most of us have probably heard it, but they're like, oh, you're engaged? Now the real work's about to start. Right? And that shouldn't be the case. Like, engagement should be the place where you work, so that when you get into the marriage, you already know, like, these are the things that have to happen in order to make this just part of how we are, part of how we communicate, part of how we operate as husband and wife. It's not when you get married, you start the hard work. It's when you start relationship, you start that hard work. And then to reverse that from an engagement place to, most of us here are married, you reverse that and you say, what am I doing right now that I was doing in my engagement to keep this fire alive? Because if you're not doing anything that you did while you were courting this beautiful woman that said yes to you, if you're not doing any of that anymore, then you're failing, right? The things that you lured her in with, that you catfished her into this relationship with, that you're no longer doing, that's a bait and switch. You've got to continue being that romancer, being that guy, the king that courted her as a queen and brought her into your life. So, one, if you're gonna get engaged, if you're gonna start a relationship, do the things now, do the communication now that you need to do, say the truth now that you need to say, so that when you get into the marriage, you're not catfishing. And then if you're married now and you've already got your beautiful bride for life, do the things that you said you were going to do during engagement so that she doesn't feel ripped off. You're no longer the man that you came into the marriage saying you were, or portraying you were, right? Continue to date, continue to play and flirt, continue those things, because that's what keeps the color in the relationship. What do we think about that, Nathaniel? What do we think about that? Like, oh, now the real work starts.
It's been, we've got 3 kids, and the little one being born just wrecked our romantic life. She's working 2 jobs. I work 60 to 80 hours a week at my job. We come home and it's just nothing but children. So it's been a big focus of mine. So she and I actually went on 2 dates last week. And the
Wow.
difference in her attitude is night and day.
Congratulations, bro. That's
Yeah,
beautiful.
she is so over the moon that I took her out twice in 1 week.
Love that. Yeah.
Yeah, with intention and purpose, right? Not just
Yep.
going somewhere.
Yep.
Good, very good. What do you think about that, Kurt?
Yeah, if they're waiting for the engagement to start doing the work, it's too late. Got a text from my older sister today. She said on text to all of her siblings that she and her husband are separating. Been married for 29 years. And the work never ends. So I'm glad I'm in this with you all, so that I can continue to date my wife, and I know I need it.
Yeah. Anything that you need to flip that mirror around and look at yourself and say, hey, I need to start doing this.
Oh, definitely. And I'm
Good,
questioning when we go to Husker football games on Saturdays, is that sufficient of a date? Or is there more that we can do?
Is it?
No.
Are you telling her that that's her date? That's how you're romancing her? That's how you're showing her that she's the queen of your world and
Yep,
she's
pretty much.
important to you?
That is what I'm doing. I'm not saying that's right, but that is what I'm doing.
Okay, so now let's make it really what you believe. Do something that you believe is those things. Good,
Will
good.
do.
What do you got, Andy?
Well, I'm not in a relationship place as far as courting right now.
What do you think about that? What do you think about going into a relationship with your end goal, not to get laid. Your end goal is you're finding someone that can be your queen, somebody that you can do life with, somebody that's just as amped as you,
Mhm.
somebody that
I,
wants to be a weapon in their body being balanced in business, wants to spend tons of time with you.
it has to be like at first, like I say, whatever it is that's, well, I'm in agreement, and whatever it is that's being done through the courting, I know there's going to be times where it can't be 100% the same courting ritual, but like still put the emphasis on that. Like, hey, look, it's important for me to have. If this is going to be our day where we're doing our things together, that's important to me, and I want that to be something that's going to be concrete. We'll work it out together to where it comes to the point where like it's doable for each other, but like I want to honor and value that. I'm going to be honoring and valuing that, and I want to see you honor and value that as well, because it's showing me that you're going to be as interested in this as I am. Also, what was it? You just brought it up a minute ago, and it just escaped me. But being transparent and truthful, like, hey, this is what I'm trying to attain. Where do you see yourself with that? Because if it's not going to be something that you're in line with, like if you're not somebody that has an aspiration to work out 3 to 5 times a week, or you do that on your own, like, that will cause a rift, because that is going to be something that I'm going to be consistent in. Like, I want to expose these consistencies at the beginning of it, at the inception of it, because if not, it's just going to lead to a rift later on. And if it's going to be that, I'm not here to waste time. I don't want my time wasted. I don't want your time wasted.
Right, right. Especially at the stage we are right now, right? Like
Yeah.
we're probably not going to change a person. Maybe in workouts, we might be able to get some habits established in that person, but there are other core things that if they're just not a hungry person and want to go after life with a zest and a zeal,
Mhm.
go after God with
Right.
absolute Jesus freakness, and they don't want to go after business and build something, a legacy, then you're probably not going to be able to change that habit, right?
Right. No, and it's just like I'm not in the point of fighting. It's plenty of stuff that has to be fought through the day. That's probably not one I want to really fight on or spend much. Yeah.
Yeah. What do you got, Sean?
I was saying thumbs down.
Thumbs down.
Yeah, none of those. No more distractions. Man. Who needs them?
Yeah, yeah. I agree.
Boo. I heard something today. It was like follow your dream, your passion, God, at 100 miles an hour. Whoever comes alongside you, then introduce yourself.
Right.
Everything else is legitimately a distraction in my life, 100%.
Yep. Yep. And then on the flip side of that, the girl should be looking for somebody whose eyes only come up from the Lord to notice her, who is also just focused on the Lord.
If I could chime in on that,
Yeah. Bring it.
you may not need to find a woman that wants to start a multi-billion-dollar business.
No.
Maybe wants to be a Proverbs 31 woman who raises your family like it's her only job in life.
Hey,
And
man,
that's everything.
that chick made clothes, though. You never know. She could have been the Yeezy of her day. Billionaire, bro. You don't know.
And then on fire for business would be like, yeah, I am your partner in this. And I believe in you and I support you in this. Or
Whatever
it
it
could be
takes.
alongside you as well.
Yep.
But if she's like, you ain't gonna start a fitness business. Who do you think you are? That's probably a little bit of a red flag. Like run as fast as you can.
Yeah. Right.
Christian, I know
Deuces.
some of this is hitting home. What do you got?
Personally don't like thinking of myself as a catfish. And I've been doing some catfishing, man. Like I haven't taken this girl out on a proper date in a hot minute. So, but like bait and switch, catfish, like bro, guilty. So I need to be more present, more dedicated to making a change in that. We've highlighted there's an issue, ground control. So that. Yeah. Hey, Andy, real quick. I just had to stop, right?
Yeah.
I know it doesn't sound good off the top, but could we like nickname you Fat Andy? Because then people see you and they're like, what
You
is
ain't
this
fat.
joke? Right?
I mean, you can say Fat Andy or you can say Big A. You know, either one.
No, but I'm saying like use it as an oxymoron.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I'm not good. I'm not offended
Because
by it.
then
I mean,
that
I don't know if I'm
or
getting,
some kind of play on word. This what you're Big Andy? You know what I'm saying?
I'm meeting Fat Andy
What-
tonight.
No,
Where's he at?
But whatever it is, right? Whatever
Yeah,
it
you
is, right?
you can absolutely introduce me as such. Absolutely.
No, I'm just saying. Okay.
No, because I mean, I love it.
People
I mean,
inquiring about
it opens a perfect segue for conversation, right? Fat Andy, bro, you don't look
Boom.
fat. Well,
Exactly.
dude, yeah, I used to weigh
Yeah.
433 pounds. So what's up?
Yeah, but that gets right into that. Anyway, completely off topic.
I'll tell you, yeah.
No,
Let's go.
no, I like
I
it.
just care about you and want to,
No, I'm with it.
Anyway, but yes, I'm a catfish. My name's Christian Cooper. I've been catfishing for the last little bit. I'm working on it.
Good segue. Good segue. Let's talk about this. So there's that one side, right? Where you have to continue doing the things that you know you needed to do, continue doing the things that led to her falling in love with you, continue doing the things that energize you to serve her. There's this other side that really gets pounded into our skulls in the church. You must die to yourself every single day. She's not happy, die to yourself. He's not happy, die to yourself. Maybe if you just served a little bit more. Maybe if you just prayed a little bit more.
Yeah.
In the meantime, you're dying to yourself, letting go of every desire that you ever had, dying to yourself. Say you get linked up with somebody that you're not equally yoked with. You want to start a business, and then that person just doesn't believe in it. That person's like, I'm not going to support it. So what do? You beat it down, you die to yourself, set that aside because it's not their aspiration. That's the opposite side. So we've got to walk that line between fulfilling our kingly husbandly duties, but also maintaining the fire in our lives for ourselves, not completely dying simply because we have a queen. What lights you up for yourself should light her up. Her seeing you in full power should light her up. You seeing her in full power should light you up, but it shouldn't come at the cost of each other dying to yourself because you don't know how to both operate in full power with each other. Ray, what do you think about that?
Yeah, I think you're touching on something that is hugely beautiful. We've been told at church that you have to die in such a way, and the way that the church lives it or explains it is at a huge detrimental cost, putting great strain, I think, on relationships as a whole, just because they don't know how to teach it or understand it correctly. And what you're talking about, being able to identify what my power is and operating in full power and bringing, like, doing all of that for my wife in such a way that I am helping her operate in her full power. And so my be operating in my full power, she's able to flourish and her full power is what she wants to. And too often everybody gets stuck on just this. I have to die to myself, and it's at the cost of everything that I want to do. And then she's not able to walk in her full power because I've compromised all mine. I'm not leading. I think this is a huge part. I believe it is a huge part of why we see so much divorce, because they're both just conflicting back and forth rather than building each other up more and more and more. And so, yeah.
Yeah, that's good. And then when you, like you're talking about, if people start to suitcase their desires and their goals and dreams, then you start to get some bitterness, you start to get some hurt built up, resentment starts to build. Like, this is the reason why I can't do my business thing, because she doesn't support me, because he doesn't support me. This is the reason why I can't be a stay-at-home mom, because he's not in his full power. What do you think, Kurt?
It all lines up. Everything connects. We don't take care of ourselves, we can't take care of other people. If we're going to work and worried about the fight we had with our wives last night or this morning, then you can't function at work. If you
Beautiful.
can't function at work, then you don't want to be around other people.
It's the
Then you
same.
get- Sorry.
Oh, sorry. No, I think Sean's probably got something to touch on this as well too.
Yeah, let's bring it, Sean.
No, you don't feel
Yeah.
with any part of that?
Bring it, Sean.
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously the biggest trip up was the catfish game, you know, like if I can scoop a girl like that, then I can trick anybody. And then you just become the master trickster. At least I did. I became like I see it now. I didn't know I was doing it. But yeah, I mean, that's clearly not what you want to do. You want to be able to step up to the plate and arrive alive and be fully ready to engage with your wife and kids and all the things that matter. The word of God, men of God, keeping all of it in alignment. And I didn't. And my marriage fell apart because of it. I didn't keep it all together. I didn't care. I stopped thinking that it was even a thing. And Jesus quit becoming an entity and just became a subscription notice that I got once a month, maybe a few times a month, if the church was lucky. And that was it. I think what I see here are men that are different, and you guys treasure your relationships in a way that I see you putting action behind. Yeah, I want to be a part of that. I want to be a part of guys that want to do some preemptive work on their marriage. So I'm pumped to see you guys doing that, Andy doing that. I don't feel like a failure. I mean, it's kind of like a position of a failed marriage, but
Dude, there's power in that though. Hold on, bro. Don't go that far because you have a story in that.
Yeah.
And brother, you can be leading men going through it. And bro, I'm hearing men left and right going, I'm going through this divorce. I'm going through this situation. And every time I hear that, bro, I love you. And I think of you every time because you're living in that and you're navigating that. Bro, you have so much power in that.
Yeah, I think what's going to be beautiful is hearing your first testimony part of like how you were looking at your relationship, both her negatives and yours, and being able to experience that. And then as you're growing and being able to see what your next relationship is going to be like in that deal, just seeing it in a perspective shift different, right?
yeah, well, yeah, 100%. Mine's changed. Yeah, I'm different, so the relationship will be different.
Yeah, it's
And that's not to say that when you enter the relationship, you both can't grow in your own
Yeah.
way. Like, you will continually become different people, but you should be
Well, that's what we
growing.
that's what we swear to here, right? We're swearing to never changing the dial on maximum availability all the time. So that's always going to be changing. We're the ones who morph. God doesn't.
Right.
And if I can find a girl that's willing to do that, man, put on the blinders, and hopefully I can live up to it too. You know, it's like it's a game changer. This is like the life ender. This is it. This is what your life becomes. This is the painting. This is the display. It is it. And yeah, once you step off the edge, there's no like, you can't fall up, you know, you can only fall forward. So,
Beautiful.
Yeah.
What do you got, Nathaniel?
I hate when those Bible stacks ask me how I'm going to measure things or track things, but this is my wife. You're talking about your wife walking in her full power. You walk in your full power. My wife knows when I have not done a Bible stack. My wife knows when I have not made my morning meeting.
Nice.
She calls me out on it every single time. She can tell just by how I'm walking, talking, and acting whether or not I'm walking in my full power. And on the days when I am, I catch her sitting back just staring at me with this little grin on her face. I guess she's just
Love it.
appreciating what this program has done for me so far. I feel like a failure because I don't hit my hit list every day,
Right.
but she sees it differently. That's all I know. That's kind of one of my measurement tools is her, how she's reacting around me.
Absolutely. It's different. It changes the environment. When you're walking in your full power, it's just different. It's different. You're not a pouty little boy because you missed something. You're not pouting because you didn't get laid last night. You're not pouting because something didn't go well at work. It's just a game changer when you open up with that Bible stack first thing in the morning, and then you roll that into a prayer stack and ask God, like, hey, what do you want me to do today with this thing you just showed me that was amazing? Oh, it's crazy. And then you go and you pray with your wife before you leave the house. Oh, so much goodness in that. So much goodness in that. So one of the things that I wrote down here was you shouldn't be committing joy suicide to please the other person all the time, right? You come to this place where you've buried all your desires, you've buried all your passions, you've buried anything that used to bring life to you to be a helper because of how we translate the Bible, right? Like, oh, you're from the man's rib, so you're just the helper, and you only do this. And if we look at it like that, if we look at our wife as only a helper to help us do things, right? Then we're wrong. We're absolutely losing the context of what a helper is. Like a helper is there to help you stay in full power, just like Nathaniel was saying, to help you stay in full power, to help you be the man that looks at her like she's your queen. Like she helps you with all of that. She helps you stay in full power so you can be the man that makes her stay in full power, right? If you know that you're killing her and all you're doing is making her a helper and she has no desires in her life, then you've got to recognize that and have that conversation, right? Re-energize her. You know what she was when you met her. You know what her passions were. You know what drove her. Don't let that flame die. Reawaken it, whatever you need to do to find it, and let it come back to life. Because the dangerous thing is not knowing. You could be living what you think is grade A living. Like you're on top of the world, your business is killing it, your body is just ripped, shredded, you're squatting 700 pounds, like you're just talking to God all the time. But then she catfished you because you've made her bury all her desires and dreams. And then at 30 years, she tells you, I can't do this anymore. I'm out because you didn't operate in a place where you stepped back from your relationship and said, okay, I'm doing good. I'm living by the code. I'm telling my truth. Are my kids? Is my wife? What is she on fire for? What brings passion in her life? And it could be supporting you. And that could be her only passion in life. That could be. It could be. But it might not be. So you've got to have that conversation constantly, making sure that she's still having a fire inside of her that burns for something. What do you think, Coop?
Like it. I like it.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll implement it, but I'm gonna start with the no catfishing first.
No cap, dude. No cap. No cap on both sides, right?
Yeah, and she just heard that, so she's like, "What? What are you talking about? What are you talking
No cap, my girl.
about?"
Yeah, I think
I
it's beautiful.
got some explaining to do.
Yeah, I think, you know, you really got to find out and take a step back and see we want to do our part and take care of ourselves, but noticing where that relationship is. And everybody's is different. You know, I think like the same, it's interesting when Coach Noel's talking about, you know, my wife, if you guys know my wife loves supporting me, right? That is something, but having other people they love when their wife is dominating or in the business field or doing that. And so if that's yours as well, to navigate that is different. It's going to look different than the way it does mine, but it still has to be very intentional of what it is, right? And so loving my wife and appreciating my wife, respecting her, honoring her, loving her, and all of who she is in that place, it can become very easy for me to be like, just take it as that's what she does, and I don't have to love her and appreciate and honor and respect her, right? So it has to be very intentional. But if your wife is also out there business like crushing it and doing it, then you're going to also have to support her in a different way, still respecting her, appreciating her, honoring her, and loving her. So it has to be very intentional with an intensity about it. Okay.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, we tend to call the moms that are married to warrior men CEO moms, right? They're the chief executive officers of the home. So you must honor that. You must give that if that's their passion and their drive and the thing that wakes them up every day. You've got to appreciate that, express gratefulness for it. All of the things that you would do that she does for you to help you stay in your full power. Tell you you're the man, tell you you're so strong, all those
Have you
things.
been watching our time together?
Gotta spy, gotta spy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I was gonna pick that one up if you weren't.
yeah, she whispers that to me all the time.
And kind of where all of this gets twisted is with a bunch of guys like us, right? Like I consider most of us givers. Like we like to give, we like to provide, we like to not be constantly takers. And if we get yoked with the wrong person, if we let ourselves continue to die only to give, to give, to give, to give, to give, we're going to end up in a bad place, right? You've also got to look at that side. Take a look back. I've been giving, I've been giving, I've been giving. Am I being taken advantage of? And if I am, I need to initiate a conversation to make sure that I can re-lift myself and get out of this pit that I've found myself in. Because you know yourself as a giver, you've got to watch out for only being a giver and never being able to receive, because that'll lead to burnout just as quick. What do you think about that one, Sean?
Hey man, I'm ready for some reception. Ready for some good times. Bring it.
Yeah.
No, I'll pick up whatever it is, man. I think a lot of it is mentality too, right? Like you may feel like you need or there is more, but it's also you have everything right now. And it has to be legit. That has to be for real. No matter where you're starting from, no matter where you're at in the pecking order, where you're at is enough. It's enough for the king. You're enough for whatever mission you have for that day. But what we're about in here is never being okay with enough, never being okay with just being okay. I think we're swallowed
Never
up by
being okay without looking to expand the kingdom, right?
the
Like
kingdom. Yeah, man.
what can I do today to glorify God and expand the kingdom? It's not about me and what I have and like how good my relationship is and like how good of a father I am. It's about like how can I make the Christian life, how can I make the kingdom look more appetizing to the Satan worshipers and the transgenders and the nonsense out there? How can I make my marriage look like the light on a hill that hasn't been snuffed out? That's not hypocritical. That's not preaching. That's just living it and enjoying it. And is the picture perfect thing that God wanted for marriage. It's amazing. Yeah, sure, there's going to be fights. Sure, there's going to be tension sometimes. But at the end of the day, when people look to you, they're like, man, how do they do that? How do they go on a date night every week when they have 2 babies and 2 foster kids? How do they date their kids and actually communicate with a teenager? How do they do that? How do they get their
Values,
kids
it's
to
core,
respect them?
value. It's a map for success, a plan, you know? I think that's what we're talking about. It's something that I've lacked a lot of in life, having a direct plan coming out of the military, especially having a clear path, having passion and purpose and pursuit in every day's fulfillment. And putting that down and saying, look, man, I'm a king's, I'm the king's.
Yeah.
And what is my
Mm.
life looking like? What is my life looking like? It's the kings. Are my kids looking like they're the kings?
Split up in the blender.
Put the confidence of God on them. Am I walking with that, or am I meager and meek because I'm anticipating some riff? Am I ready to get out there? Am I ready to surf with the sharks? Am I ready to be for real? Am I ready to die today? Am I ready to live today?
Yeah.
And I think that's more of,
I need to live today.
yeah.
It's easy to die.
Yeah.
It's easy to die and go to heaven. Just be at his right hand. Are you
It's
ready to
harder to
live it?
risk everything. Yeah.
Yeah, it's good. Good.
Yeah. Truly navigating this as well, though, navigating this, and each one of us as we bring this more and more into alignment, learning and understanding truly what you want, right? And staying inside of that and living that and staying inside of it. It's hard to get distracted if I truly know what I want. I know what I want, then I obviously know what I don't want. And so staying inside of that place, not getting distracted, living this out. It makes it so much better when people look at that and have all these things in alignment. How, again, like Coach Noel saying, how does he stay in shape? How is he crushing it in worshiping God and in that every single place, like in all of his day long, all day long, staying in his own center? Like, how is he doing and dating his wife? How is he dominating business? All of those things. How? Like, that becomes very appealing versus you can't tell the difference between a Christian and somebody else in culture. You're like, what's the difference? You know, their life looks nothing different, right? That huge difference.
Yeah.
Very good. Very good.
I wanted to go over,
Love that.
is that, you got a little bit more? Okay. What's that?
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
So kind of as we're getting a little bit closer, I wanted to make sure we've got, we're at that place where we're getting the body being balanced in business, the balance stuff. I'm going to try something. I'm going to give you guys, kind of recorded some stuff about balance, and, I'm going to send it to you and you'll have to watch it. You'll watch it on YouTube. I made a playlist. If this ends up working out like this, then we'll be able to consume it this way. So again, I've done the list and being able to, especially with the balance, being able to go a little bit more deep into it. Again, there's this place where we're treading the line, like we want you, again, it's like we give you the information and we want you to apply that, right? And so seeing you guys apply it and check that block in the Warriors app and doing that, but there's that place of like how much more consuming is so I'm going to give you this to consume. I think it's very good material. If it works, if you guys like it, then I'll keep doing it with some of the other things in the armory. And
How are you going to send it to us?
I'm going to send it in the WhatsApp. It'll be a link for the YouTube and then you'll consume it. But here's the thing. This is where I want you to, as I'm handing you this stuff and I'm putting in all of this stuff and we're putting it in there and it's still basic training and you're not fully in alignment with it, I want you to consume it because what I think we're both seeing, we're seeing, you guys are hungry for it. And so I'm willing to give it to you. But at the same time, when you're listening to that and like Coach Noel saying, what's your measurable? What's your measurable? What's your measurable? Like you need to be asking yourself, I just consumed this. What is my measurable? Like, what am I going to do with this? Like consume, consume, consume. You just consume stuff for 12 hours and you're like sending it out to everybody that you love and know this is the greatest thing. And then you do nothing with it. It's like, what's the point? You just wasted time. Does that make sense? So continually ask yourself, what am I going to do? How am I applying this? What am I going to do with this? Okay. So, which is super because Nathaniel, I heard you kind of say like this balance has went super fast and it almost is like, now that it's almost over, it's like, what do I really, where's my depth here? What am I trying to hold on to? So as I give you the stuff from the armory for what balance is at a depth, I want you to be able to listen to it with your mind and your heart, consume it and say, okay, now that I just heard this at a deeper level, how am I going to apply this in my life? What is my measurables? Can we agree on that?
Yes.
So I appreciate you asking that question. I heard your heart in that, Nathaniel, like kind of that this balance has went fast, right? And so I'm going to give you this material because I know you're hungry for it, but don't let it just be something that you consume and that you don't apply something.
Would it be okay to watch it with my wife, or is this for my
Yeah.
eyes only?
Yeah. Watch it with your wife. Yep. Watch it and consume it. It's going to be on balance. It's going to be on person 1 and person 2. And it's basically breaking down, pouring into your wife, and your posterity, what that looks like and how to navigate this, not just at the understanding of what is balance or what is a 0.5 that you get for it. It's building on top of what the balance is, what the depth of person 1 and person 2 is, and what you're doing and how you're creating this to really work for you in your life, not just a point inside of the app, not just something that you're checking off. Okay.
To that impossible game. Always, always, always. Should be something, some end game out of it. Not that you're playing a game with your wife or your kids, but you want something more for both of you, right? You want to grow who both of you are together. It's almost like when you consume, like sometimes in the Bible, you can read until Revelation and you're like, that's it. Like I need to stop because I need to grab that thing and I need to go. I need to pray on that and I need to go. Like I'm not reading anymore. Almost the same with consumption of stuff. If you'll consume until Revelation and then take action, it's much better than consuming the whole thing just to know the stuff that was in there. If you'll consume till Revelation and go, that's way more powerful than consume to the end and sit.
Yep. Yeah.
Hey, Kurt, can you put your email in the chat? I'm going to add you to the app right now.
You bet.
Yeah. So again, yeah, I want you to be able to consume that. Let me know if that works. Even drop it in the chat what the fire really is that you got out of it, and even what your measurable could be. The more we talk about measurables, the measurables that you're coming up with, it's going to help the other men in the group. There is a difficulty of okay, I'm going to put these things in there, and there's a difference. Like you're putting something in there that might be for your being, and it's like a spiritual part. You're like feeling it's spiritual, but then what does that look like when you apply that in reality? And so as you're navigating whatever something hits your heart and it's spiritually going to do you better, putting that in a measurable and then knowing like how you're going to track that is going to help the other men also navigate that in such a way, okay, as the others are going through that. Does that make sense? You're learning something that hits you spiritually. You're wanting to do that, say, with your wife, person 1, and then you're like, okay, I want to connect with her more. We're going to communicate more, and then trying to bring that into reality. Okay, I want to connect with her more. What does that look like? oh yeah, that means I need to set time aside so that we can actually have some dialogue and communication, and I'm going to see what it is important to her for what is her desires that she has on her heart, right? And then how am I going to track that? Well, I'm going to write it and take a picture of it, and I'm going to post it to Facebook or whatever. As you give examples of those things, it's going to help the other men in this group as well.
And things that work well for you. Some things that you'll see Coach Raylan doing, you'll see me doing, you'll see Coach Garrett doing. Like, we forget that that's what pulled us to the level that we're at, and we forget that that's even like a strong and powerful tool. So we even need to get better at saying like, hey, this just posting what we ate in our faces at our date, like, helped these other guys figure out like what a date night could look like. As simple, boring things that help so much.
I'll share this because it's been huge for me, is combining my hit list, doing a Bible stack with my wife. That's investing in balance and being simultaneously. You know,
Huge.
like these videos, my wife, she's as thirsty for what I'm doing in this group, or even more thirsty than I am. She absolutely loves it when I share with her the things that we're talking about. She helped me create my hit list. So like watching that video with her, she's going to enjoy that. So it's not a date night, but that is time spent with my wife.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And it's also me investing in me at the same time.
Yeah, and
Yep.
from what I hear of your wife as well, being a powerhouse and just everything that she does, dude, this is going to be powerful for her as well. Dang.
That's good.
You guys
That's
build
good.
relationship in growth mindset and being powerhouses. That would be whoo, be beautiful to
Unstoppable.
watch, man. Unstoppable.
Just grow, forcing each other to grow, forcing each other to love each other more, forcing each other to parent better. Oh man, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. I love it.
That's what we want to see. Absolutely.
I
Yeah.
love it. Well, any other last questions? I know we went a little long, 30 minutes long. But I think we got some good value out of it, good chatting out of it. Any other questions that anybody wants to ask about the tactical portion or anything we talked about?
Off topic, but is there chasing alignment tomorrow with it being a holiday?
Yes.
No rest for the weary.
Yeah. Nice. Love you guys.
Labor Day means work, dude.
Get your cross and start walking.
Hustle up.
The,
You know, you
I'll
got
tell you,
technical
I'll be
mom-
honest, like being gone, it has been amazing to sleep in and then do my Bible stack when I wake up. But there is a place that I'm kind of worried. I'm like, please, dear Lord, let me still love like getting up in the morning. Let it not become difficult. Like,
Dude, let me bring you out to the Sierras when it was 30 degrees at 5 a.m.
Oh,
See how much Bible flipping you're doing at 5 a.m. No fire, no nothing, son. You're just doing jumping jacks.
it was cold. It was cold.
It was cold. First night was cold. We got rain, snow, a little bit of snow. It was a
Ooh.
blast. It was so hard. It was so hard.
That's a
It was
welcome
hard.
party.
Brutal. 2,200 feet of elevation gain one day. It was something like 7,500 feet of change that day.
I don't want to ever hear like that your shin is bothering you.
Dude, my knees and shins are beat. It took the last week just to like kind of recuperate a little bit. Dude, it's
I
been
bet.
brutal. But
That's
anyway,
one hell of a movement. That's beautiful.
yeah. It's 50
Andy,
miles.
wanna pray for us?
Yeah. Father God, thank you for another opportunity to come together and just check in with one another and to continue to expand ourselves, Lord, so we can expand for you, Lord. Lord, just continue to press in on our hearts and let us press in as well to seek that continuing expansion in you, Lord, in our families, in our loved ones, in our businesses, in our body, in our health, and all that you have required and requested of us to just have dominion over. We pray for those that are out and on their way in. Just continue to guide them safely. And may you just continue just to watch over our steps and just shed that everlasting love that you have for us, Lord. And we just give thanks for you again. In your holy name, I pray. Amen.
Amen. Beautiful. It's gonna be a good week, brothers. Keep continually stepping in. It's beautiful. It's beautiful to see everybody coming in more and more into alignment. It's beautiful.
Amen.
Noel fell asleep.
that? Oh, Noel fell asleep.
Hey, you guys, there's pieces on the floor. He's been eating them.
Oh,
It
dang.
was froze. It was froze. Must have been
He
froze.
froze.
Beautiful.
That's-
I got you.
See you guys tomorrow.
That,
Greg, when are you guys getting back?